Hello everyone. It is Wednesday, the 4th of April. It is 8 we're actually early. Sorry, we're early.
Oh, a minute?
I know. It's 8 p.m. about now.
We can fill for 30 seconds.
Well, absolutely. We've got loads to talk about. As you can see, we have
Hi, Hannah.
a load of leftover Easter eggs from the kids. Oh God, that always happens on my phone. So, what we thought we were going to do, we're just showing how many Easter eggs we've got left. Bear in mind, the kids have already consumed their body weights. We've consumed our body weights in chocolate, but this is it.
Basically, it's a moralistic question. If we eat the Easter eggs, will the kids know?
I think you have to factor in their age. So, our kids are like 4, 2 and 6 months. So, right, I'll do the thing. So we've had a fantastic week so far. Hi Sarah, you alright?
Hi.
We've had a fantastic week this week. I'll talk about this while you make lots of noise. This is Women's Magazine. Now, we know you're all lovers of Women Magazine. We know it is your number one purchase every week. Emily, what is exciting about this week's Women Magazine?
I'm in a picture next to Kate Middleton.
Hold on. So they wanted to give Kate Middleton advice on having 3 children, so they spoke to Emily. There we go. It's all over our social media, so go and have a look.
What's even better than that, though, Adam, is I've made my debut in Women Magazine this week. Sorry, I'm eating something.
Yes.
Women Magazine, which means I'm probably like at least Y-list famous in doctor surgeries, dentists' offices.
Y-list? I wouldn't go that high. Let's go to Z-list. Keep going. Who are you?
I'm famous in doctor surgeries and like OAP centres and that kind of stuff. But next week,
yes,
I'm in Women's Own Magazine.
Yes, you are in Women's Own Magazine.
I don't know whether you
Thanks, Belinda.
Keep following me. But I'm in Women's Own Magazine next week talking about is it appropriate to swear in front of your children?
Yes.
Why ask me? I don't care. Well, I do care. But
well, no, we care very strongly actually.
But
I do. There's one potty mouth in the
Why has someone
relationship.
thought to find me to do that?
And if anyone wondered why we're eating leftover Easter eggs. We have a lot to get through because apparently a 6-month-old needs a table full of Easter eggs. So yes.
What else have we done this week? We've been working on the franchise this week. So if anyone doesn't know, in our other guys as Baylily Bell Tents, you keep. Excuse me.
Well, go on.
We are based in Hampshire, but we are franchising this year, so we're going national, which is quite exciting. So we've been working on that. What else have we done this week?
I don't know. I was away. I went on holiday to the Lake District with the Scouts.
It was Easter.
I do a lot with Scouts.
Oh.
So I was in the lakes with Easter.
That's what we were going to talk about.
Go on then. Because we have an amazing range of questions.
I'm not going to spend too much, but I actually think I might do a separate live completely anyway for it. Obviously, for you saw me over the weekend, we had the wedding from not hell.
No, you can't say that. You've got to be very careful.
The wedding was great, but the weather was...
The weather was horrific.
It was like Noah's Ark had come to Titchfield. And we turned up, and obviously we didn't put our tent up due to the fact that the field was waterlogged, and luckily the TP had gone off a couple of days before, but the carpet was squidgy and all that kind of stuff. So I've said it already this week, but I'll say it again. Wet weather plans. Make sure you have them. If you're not sure what to cover, it can be as simple as, you know where your venue's going to be. If you can't get vehicles to it, is there somewhere else down the road you can get a couple of minibuses, maybe do shuttle, or get a couple of drivers to do shuttle runs so you don't have to have as many vehicles on your field. It could be just a basket of brollies by side. So you're going to have an outdoor ceremony regardless, but we're going to have brollies and we're going to make a feature out of it doing it that way.
But it's got to be considered.
Sure. Please. I was so gutted for her. I was so gutted. She had this brilliant image in her head of how the day was going to be, and it was different. I'm hoping she had the best day ever anyway, but do consider it.
Yeah, and we've said they I don't know if Emily said this, but they didn't want us to put the bell tent up for them, or Emily, because I wasn't there. But we're going to let them have it in the summer, so they still get to enjoy a fantastic night in a bell tent.
Yeah.
Hannah, we'll pop your question at the bottom, because we have a load to get through today.
The other thing we want to do first and foremost, this chair's going to go as well.
Well, I thought my chair was going to go.
We need to do a little excited moment for Louise. Ooh. Louise, you're getting married in 10 sleeps.
10. Do you know what? I saw that, and in my head I had 10 days, but it's 10 sleeps, isn't it?
And what's exciting about that is you're our very first outside bride to be getting married this year that we know of. So thank you so much for letting us know.
Yes. However, someone last week or the week before did post a picture of their TP going up, but I can't remember who, from the car.
First person to let us know they're getting married.
Louise, first person to let us know. You are, I haven't done this for a couple of weeks. You're my favourite person in the group today, other than my wife.
So you are asking, as your part of your question, of things you can start to do to chill out. Alan.
Well, I was going to say, do you want like the Alan approach to this question or the Emily approach to
Go
this?
with the Alan approach.
Okay. Now I have no Belinda. Sorry, it's just a pencil, not a magic. I'm not Harry Potter, unfortunately, or Voldemort. That's on Saturdays only. Sorry. Right, Louise. How to relax with 10 sleeps ago. So I am a man. I'm practical. I'm pragmatic. I'm black and white. No beating around the bush. So for me, nervousness and anxiety would come from unknowns. So I would be ensuring I knew the answer to every question. I'd be ensuring I's are dotted, T's are crossed, and that's how I would relax. Once I'd done that and I was just in general nervousness mode, down the pub, go for a run, relax, candles, long soaks in the bath.
It's all about the pampering.
Sorry, my phone's going mental today.
Alan doesn't get text messages ever. And when we're on here, he gets loads of messages. So, 10 days away, you can't really do too much more than what you've already done. Hopefully, all your planning is in place. If it's not been done by now, it doesn't matter.
Well, I've got 10 sleeps.
You've got 10 sleeps of finding
quite a long
solutions.
time.
But ultimately, take this time, go for a massage.
Yeah. Look after yourself. Look after yourself.
Get
That's
your
really
nails
important.
done. Just relax. Just relax and think about the fact that in 10 days you're going to have an amazing day with all your friends and family around you, and you're going to be marrying the love of your life.
Louise did mention she hadn't sorted a florist out yet, or there was a florist question, Louise. If you're on, feel free to expand upon it, or ask the message in the group. But if in case there is anything we can answer, or if we can get another floristry expert on board to help answer it, just let us know, because we will happily do
might
that.
as well do Sylvie's question while we're here.
Well, that's what I was. That made me think here, because we have actually. Belinda says delegate, and yes, pampering is really. It really is. Do you know what? Even I appreciate. I'm not. Manly is the wrong word. I'm probably more metrosexual than most, but I am all over like the men being pampered as well as the ladies. You know, I'm all over that. So it is about relaxing and enjoying it, and remember, it is meant to be enjoyed. That's
and trusting
really
other
important.
people to be able to do things for you. The hardest thing I did was going away for the day.
Do we want another Easter egg?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
We do.
No.
Was walking away from our marquee the day before our wedding, because I had an appointment back in Southampton to get my nails and stuff done, and the tables weren't finished, and I left the boys to go and finish the tables, and I wasn't seeing them till the next day when we'd been married. So it's kind of trusting other people, delegate, give them jobs, because ultimately it doesn't matter, they will get done whether you're there or not. So just delegate for sure. Sylvie was asking, her question was, is it okay to get your flowers the day before? She's sourcing her own flowers for her event, getting them the day before. Her wedding's in August, and would they be okay? Her main bouquet and her jam jar flowers would be okay.
The weather's going to be stunning, obviously.
Obviously. No wet weather in August ever. What I would say is yes, absolutely. The day before, I wouldn't get them any earlier than the day before, because they will start to spoil. But if you're buying them from a florist market or anything like that, making sure that if the buds are open, that's fine. If they're closed, give them a chance to open up properly. I'm not a florist expert, so do forgive me if there's any florists watching today going, no, shouldn't, and feel free to put in the comments. One thing I would say is, if you're having a marquee wedding or anything like that, or there's a marquee where you're storing, sweaty. Tents get sweaty, tents get hot, and if it's in August, you might get hot. So please make sure that you put them somewhere cool and somewhere in a shady area that they're going to have the chance just to kind of.
As I do like to drop an ex-marquee owner. Out the back in the shade rather than inside is a better choice.
One thing I would say as a tip that I do know as a non-florist is that it's quite tempting, because people do their Google searches and stuff to put your flowers in the fridge overnight, they'll be fine. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you've got a proper floristry fridge, because the humidity is different, and you might find that if you put your flowers into a standard fridge, they might spoil overnight. So I would just leave them in a cool, shady area instead, and invest in a spritzer bottle with some water, and just every time you walk past the marquee during the day beforehand, just give them a spritz and make sure that there's enough moisture in them so that they are flourishing rather than sweating and drooping. So that's what I would say. They should be fine. Keep them dark.
Isn't surely drooping's on the ban list of words? You can't say drooping. Yeah, keep going.
Okay, that's Sylvie's done.
I reckon let's go to Helen next, because that's one of those slightly contentious ones, so I don't want to finish on a slightly contentious one.
Fine.
Well, not that we will, because there's a couple more afterwards, but I'm like, let's sandwich it like a poo sandwich, you know, you're told about.
I can't say droopy, but you can say a poo sandwich.
Yeah, I know, I'm sorry about that. Helen's asked, she's got a few smokers. I think the polite phrase is smoking's not her bag. So she kind of wants to know how to, a few ideas on how to manage that, on how to suggest the smoking area is away from the main marquee, and how to look after them within that, because ultimately she, you know,
just to expand is the fact that it's another wedding where it's a blank canvas and it's not a fixed venue, so there aren't necessarily the rules you get if you're going to a barn or you're going to a hotel, you're going like that, you would have specific rules and regulations when it comes to smoking. Obviously, when you come to a field or an open space, it's a bit difficult on how to direct that kind of question. Now, first and foremost, I would say, now I'm a staunch anti-smoker, so if there's any smokers in this group, sorry.
I'll balance it out, because I'm not a staunch anti-smoker, but I am a non-smoker.
Yeah, a friend of mine, 21, lung cancer, never again. You know. Okay,
let's
no, what I'm saying is, don't do it, it's bad. But
public service broadcasting at its best. Yes.
I would say it's your wedding, and I wouldn't even beat around the bush of trying to be nice about it. I would say from the start, this is a non-smoking wedding, if that's your choice to say that. Or if you're going to go and smoke, there's the dirty smokers area right over there, and get it away from the main marquee, because I don't know for Helen as well, but she has a lot of children coming to her event. You don't want kids to be walking in and out of the marquee, going past a cloud of smoke, even if they're going a couple of metres outside of the marquee. So things I would say, you can either go down the route of getting a designated smoking area, and you can do it with, you know, mark it out with bunting or flags or something to say here's where you can smoke. I would go down the route of, most marquees and teepees would stipulate in their terms and conditions anyway that it's a no naked flames or anything like that, no smoking. Nearby. So therefore, use the terms and conditions of that to say, I'm really sorry, you can't smoke near here. And if your venue, because Helen's getting married at a campsite, even if they don't have a non-smoking policy, your guests don't know that. So I would say, if it was becoming a little bit of an issue with regards to your guests going, well, why can't I smoke? I would just say the management says, you know, the farmer says.
And that is absolutely reasonable, isn't it? You know, I can't remember what laws what they are, but technically a campsite is a workplace for the people who work there, so smoking probably isn't allowed.
But also, if you're a farmer's field in August, say, it might have been a really dry summer, and you've got hay bales and stuff.
Well, I was going to say this. I remember taking a marquee down, one of ours once, and the contingent was a heavy smoking contingent, and there were fag butts everywhere. And this was on a field, obviously it was a marquee, and it was really unpleasant. It was just not very nice. And like I say, I don't mind smoking, I kind of accept it happens, but I am a bit with Emily, as in, put them over there, but make sure it's nice. So when you put your signposts up that say toilets, bar, smoking area, make sure there's some pots there for them, you know, buckets with sand in or soil or whatever's easy.
You usually have to leave the field or wherever you're going. You have to leave it as you found it, and you don't know what's there. The next day after your wedding, picking up cigarette butts. That's disgusting. It's gross.
Yeah, Belinda said bucket of sand.
Yeah, just do that. And I know that Helen says you've got 4 or 5, 6 people smoking, so
they're probably vaping nowadays anyway.
But make it miles away if they've got a car park or a parking area. Or
sorry, I keep thinking I'm hearing a child moving.
Put it behind the marquee, a good distance away. When I'm talking distance, I'm talking about at least 10 metres away.
I know I've covered this before, but it has been a few. So when you have an outdoor wedding with a marquee or a teepee, normally you'll have a working side, which is the side with the doors and the windows and the pretty things, and that's your view. And then you have the kind of behind the scenes side, where normally you would tuck the toilets behind the generator, the heater, the catering vans, and all things like that. So all I would do is round the back, that's where the smokers go, because it's not cool.
And you don't want them out there in their
personal opinion, obviously.
You don't want them out there by themselves having a little cigarette party by themselves. You want them in the main party.
Yeah.
So if you just make it an area that's not really glamorous for them to want to hang out, they'll have their cigarette, they'll come back and join the party and carry on their evening.
Yes.
Not have to worry about it.
Right, move on from that. So let's get to Sarah Henshaw, whose name did pop up, was watching. So
hi,
if you're
Sarah.
still here, Sarah, hi Sarah. Sarah wants to know seats for the evening reception, buffet and chilling. And we happen to know that the kind of party in the evening is in a different venue to the reception.
They're having a sit-down meal separately to where their evening reception is.
So it's not like there's going to be 100 seats still milling around from the... Sarah's still here. I've
Hi,
seen
Sarah.
She likes our video. So it's still, it's going to be separate is the point. So how many people would you provide chairs for?
Well, by the evening, once everyone's had a feed, and I'm assuming this is going to be like a standard party where there might be a bar and there might be music and there might be outside space, I really wouldn't cater for everybody's bottom because nobody will be sitting down at the same time. If there's outside space, fantastic. If it's an inside space and there's going to be wet weather contingency, I would still probably only cater for 40 to 50% of your guests.
You've got to think about it like a nightclub or a pub on a Friday night, because in principle it's the same sort of thing. And a nightclub certainly doesn't provide seating for everyone, and nor does a pub. And that's assuming, like Emily said, you're going to have entertainment. The only caveat to this is if you have I think the polite phrase is a larger contingency of slightly older family members. That's the polite phrase. So if there's a lot of aunts, uncles, grandparents, etc., turning up, you may want a few more chairs. But really, I wouldn't look at any more than 50%. And tops. And for some reason, Sarah, I think we know about your wedding, but I'm struggling to think about it. And if it is a grass field, then you've got picnic tables, hay bales, you've got picnic blankets if the weather's looking fantastic, you've got on the grass if it's a beautiful evening, which it will be because everyone has that planned for them. So yes, I think that is absolutely what we do. No more than 50%. Tops. Okay, so our last question is from Hannah. Hannah, you're still not alive. Yeah, and we need to get you on, Hannah.
We could just now bring her on, and she'd
reluctant parents.
Yes, reluctant parents. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, of course, I absolutely remember. I knew we chatted. Yes. No probs, Sarah. Hannah has a bell tent question.
She's hiding now. We could just press that button and then.
No, we won't. We should be honest here. Hannah does work with us here at Baylily Bell Tents. So... No,
she's the outside.
Oh, no, sorry, absolutely. She does, but she looks after the Outside Bride blog site. So all the cool stuff on the blog. Instagram is all Hannah. That's not Emily or myself.
Well, sometimes it's me. Not very much it's me.
No, and sometimes it's me, but you can tell mine. They're the ones where I put a picture of a marquee up and go, "Wow, doesn't this marquee look fab?" That's the kind of that's what I do. Anyway, Hannah has asked where do bell tent locations go, because as well as working at the Outside Bride with us, we know she's got a friend getting married soon, so this is a great one. And we get asked this a lot. Obviously, we have our left arm in bell tents and our right arm in the. I nearly said the Outside Bride. I definitely shouldn't say that. I'm so sorry, everyone. Whatever. Anyway, poor Outside Bride. Anyway, where there's grass, we can put a tent up. It's the answer to the question. Emily, come on, because I'm struggling to fit with my grin. I'm so sorry. Anyway, it wasn't that bad. You made it worse. We can put a tent up. Basically, if there's grass, whether it's a back garden, whether we were talking the other day, it could be. I'm so sorry. We stop it. And lots of if there's grass, we can put a tent on it. We'll save bell tents for another day. It's not helpful. Do I need to get another Easter egg?
Right, please.
No, right. We're not. We're not eating Ben's Easter egg.
That's really inappropriate. I'm really sorry.
No, I didn't mean to say it. It was just one of those,
Right, bell tent. The good thing with bell tents is
I've covered bell tents. You were too busy laughing.
They're a focal point. They are a focal point for your space as well, and they are part of the decoration, especially with ours because they're brightly coloured. They can be a real pop in an area. What I would say though, when when you consider your site now. We've talked about cars, when you park cars, and where you park them in relation to your marquee, and have they got to go across a lot of grass because you don't want to get bogged in on that kind of stuff. Things to consider when you're having bell tents are very similar to that. Number one, your supplier has to get across the field to wherever you're going to set them up. So is there access for the vehicles to go, because they are massive. You know, these tents aren't just like little pop-up tents, they're quite heavy. They're at 30 kilos, aren't they?
Yeah, something like that.
So making sure there's access for your suppliers to get to. Things like making sure you have flattish ground. Flattish ground isn't always the worst thing. We can work on inclines and things like that, but you've got to think about your guests and heads up and heads down. And so if you can get as flat a piece of grass as possible, that's always good. Preferably not under trees because they get a bit sappy, but that's not the end of the world. But making sure little details, like if there's no streams and things around, because midges in the height of summer are never nice. And if you're parking all your tents next to a water course, then they're going to get the midges, so I'd keep them away. Don't look at me like that, I'm not going to start this again. But yeah, and making sure if you've got anything like fire pits and things like that going on, if you're having a bit of a festival vibe, making sure that they are well away from the canvas. We usually say about 5 metres away.
Yeah, that's good.
They can go anywhere. Bell tents go anywhere. They can be either in a separate part of the camp completely, they can be circling your marquee, so they're a focal point. We do things like chill out tents, and we do kids play tents, all that kind of stuff, so you can just make it part of your feature of your day, I would say.
Yes. Hannah, we hope that answers your question. Right, that's it for questions. Unless we have any questions that anyone would like to ask, we're more than happy. I know there's a couple of notes you made here. We wanted to thank everyone in the Outside Bride group, all 356 of you. That's absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
This is episode 12 of Ask an Expert tonight, so that we've only been going just under 3 months. So we are so pleased and so excited about that. We hope you're getting what you need from the Outside Bride. Want from the Outside Bride. We hope it's helping you plan your outdoor wedding. We hope we're helping you and inspiring and all those other kind of things we hope.
Don't start again.
Whatever. Just my right arm. Look after it. Right, that's it. No, any more questions? We're happy, no problems at all.
If you're enjoying this series so far and you're liking our Ask an Expert, can you all give us a little thumbs up so we know we're doing the right thing?
I didn't know we could do this till a couple of weeks ago. I think it's fab.
It's fab.
But there is a delay. So I'm going to continue. Do we need to mention that? No, so it is in the Outside Bride group anyway. Yeah, we got a thumbs up. There's a supplier spotlight, and they're going to come through every now and then. They're on our directory. The website's growing fantastically, theoutsidebride.co.uk.
We've got some crackers coming up in the blog.
Yeah, I've seen, obviously it's not my forte, but I know Hannah and Emily have been working particularly hard on getting some amazing blogs up, and I know they're all coming very, very soon. And we've got some fab suppliers on the directory as well at the moment, and a few more who are inquiring. So absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I get told off for saying fantastic all the time. Right.
And don't forget, if you're still interested, we have spots available on our course in May.
Yes, we do.
If you are in the early stages of your wedding planning and you need a little bit of steerage on how to plan an epic outdoor wedding, we have a course available which is priced at $49.99, and it takes you through all the stages from the image in your head, getting it on paper, getting a plan in place, finding the right locations, and everything moving forward.
Yeah, it's going to be 2 1-hours, isn't it? 1 week
sessions.
apart.
Yeah.
And it's there to really... Helen Day, sorry I'm late. No worries, Helen. We answered your question right in the middle. So when fast forward on the replay to about halfway.
I got a little bit angry at smokers. I went, oh, dirty smokers.
I was more impartial.
Alan was a bit impartial. I said, don't let them smoke anywhere near the kids, and make them
We've covered smoking.
All right.
So spaces left on the planning the course, planning your outdoor wedding. If you're in the the early stages. If you're in the medium to later stages and you want a bit of one-on-one time with myself or Emily, that is also available. Check on our page. Oh, Helen's with Emily. I'm trying to be like nice and impartial here.
Why are you doing that? That was a Mark Owen voice. Impartial.
We don't talk about Mark Owen. Not allowed to talk about Mark Owen.
Why not? Why not?
And
It's a closed group. It's a safe space.
we put a bell tent up for Mark
Mark
Owen once. Shh, we're not allowed to talk about it. Anyway, right, take it easy, everyone. Have fun. Have a cracking evening. How many more times can I say thanks and everything else?
It's fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.